Hello and welcome. Let's begin with our virtual housekeeping. Mute your mic when you're not speaking. Please have your video turned on at all times. If you want to be anonymous and keep your video off, you're more than welcome to do so. Please use your headset if possible, especially if you're in a crowded and noisy area. To ask a question, use raise hand button. Usually you will find this button on your Zoom control bar. Alternatively, you can use the chat box and ask your question as well. For high resolution of this video stream on Zoom, use the switch to shared content button on top left of your screen. With the experience that we had with Zoom, the legibility of text presented in the presentation is much clearer on a screen size of 12-inch or above. So we will appreciate to use, if you use the 12-inch or above screen size for a legible text which you would be able to read through. Hello and welcome today. This is our session number 6. I believe I'm audible. Let me just check on our various platforms that we stream on. We are on Zoom at the moment. We are on Facebook. We are on LinkedIn. And we are on YouTube as well. So just wanted to make sure I'm audible. And let me just check my feedback systems out here. All the bars are dancing. It means I should be audible to you all. Okay, so with this we'll start our book club. My name is Vishal and you all are welcome today. Congratulations to you. You took out time for your personal development and be a better professional or a more informed professional by joining my book club sessions today. With this we'll start our session. We are at the session number 6. In our previous sessions we have completed the first section of the that is of the APMP Association for Professional Management Professionals, which is the Understanding Business Development. We saw the how there would be an organization who is in a very nascent stage. Maybe they are setting up a new business, or maybe they are venturing into a new process, or they already have established themselves in certain business and they want to capitalize on them, and maybe by teaming with other industry giants as well, might want to get into another section. A very good example would be a company which is doing software development, and they have developed a software for a very long time, and they have an internal training team who is also developing content for the software that they are developing for the end user to be trained on. Now, over the years, they are in a position wherein they can they are influencing the market. There are very good examples out there. Finacle is one of the very good example as far as the banking solution is concerned. It's a very good solution, and there are many others as well. There is no endorsement of any company here. I'm just sharing with you. So now they have found out that they have a division, just because there was a training team required who was doing content development for the end user to train themselves or maybe upskill their employees, because at the end of the day, a software is a software, but we need to remember that these software are not intelligent enough as of today to understand if you are feeding garbage into it. So if the software, when it was envisioned or when it was being developed, usually the management team or the team who is leading the idea, they have certain definitions for each value of the table in the database, and each text point on your form which you fill in, they have a definition for it. If the people in the organization start drifting away from those definitions, and if those definitions are not very clearly communicated to everybody, that when you see a name, for example, a name data field, you are supposed to mention the first and last name of the person, and if there is a middle name, you need to mention that as well. So I'm just giving an example. There are many in practical world, there are many ways wherein actually if the meaning of that definition is lost, the software might go into might not be of any use. And what happens is usually in such cases you will find out that the software, of course, is not giving you the intended output. The output intended by it, the reports are not being generated the way they were generating, or they are showing trends which were never expected. So why? Because the end user, they were never trained. Okay, coming back to our example. Now this organization who was developing the software, they have a division and they want to venture into e-learning management system as well. Okay, and there are very beautiful softwares out there that do that already, and they want to venture into this business. Now what they will do is they will do a market survey, okay, and they will try to find out, because corporate development, corporate trainings is a very big, is a vast market as well. Okay, software companies, they need people to train their software programmers, okay, not only in software itself but maybe on the soft skills. Okay, usually what happens is poor people who, not poor people, but people who are too much into software development, their lexicon or their vocabulary is only limited, happened with me, so that's the reason I can correlate, is only limited to like posting. I will post it, I will send it, query, these kind of, it gets very limited. Your vocabulary start getting very limited, and at times the software developers find this problems that they are not able to convey their message. Same happens with the engineering divisions, wherein if there's a hardcore engineering going on, these people find a lot of trouble to make themselves understandable to the people around, or convey their message in a very precise way. I'm just giving examples. It doesn't mean it has happened with anybody of us, and so don't take it any other way. Okay, and I'll see that we have quite an audience on LinkedIn, we have quite an audience on Facebook as well, and of course for Zoom. So now this is where we're coming back to our example. Now this company would start venturing into, let's say they are already selling Infosys has Finacle, let's say they are already selling a software to a bank called ICICI, and they see that ICICI is actually giving out trainings to their bank employees on data analytics. Example, I'm just giving an example, and they see a vast market in there, so they are an incumbent over there, they are already there. Okay, but there is some company already, XYZ company out there who is doing this service for them. Okay, for those who are not from the Indian subcontinent, Infosys is one of the giants in India for software development and software services, and I'm just giving an example on those software that they have developed. So now they will try to understand first what kind of the services the vendor that is already out there is giving them, that is the ICICI bank. Okay, and they will come up with a tailored solution for the bank, saying that we can give you this solution as well. We have an e-portal. This e-portal would be made available for yourselves, and maybe perhaps you can run R language. Maybe you can run Python. These are the two major tools that you will be using for data analytics, and so on and so forth. Same stands for engineering companies as well. Let's say there is a company that is already providing solutions, providing materials to these people, and now they also understand that these materials or the services that they're providing needs to be told or understood, should be understood to the designers and the engineers who are selecting these materials. Okay, why they should select, let's say, an X component, why they should select let's say, a Y component, and what are the merits and demerits of it. At times, it's when you have to do a competitive bid, at times commercial is very important, at times compliance to the specification is very important. We will see those terms today in a couple of minutes in when we start our session of focus on customers. So we are just recapping what we have done so far. So we saw that from an unknown position to a market leader position, how does this organization place themselves, and what kind of effort is required into all of that. That's a business development life cycle of the whole of an organization, wherein either they are setting up new or either they are setting up new division. So that kind of legwork is required. I mean, of course, by the organization who wants to venture into new businesses, and by positioning themselves in such a way that they can get into the favored position, wherein they become the de facto of the solution. For example, for people who are from India, or for that matter anywhere in the world, when you talk about Xerox, the thing that comes to your mind is photocopying. Okay, they are the one that brought these things, and for a very long time the word Xerox was used in many part of the world when they talked about taking copies of your document. It was a huge thing when Xerox came in. So they are in a favored position at that time when the photocopying was started. Okay, and when you reach at that position, you need to start investing. The organization need to start investing into research and development. They have to put into risk many things. They have to risk the product and services. A lot of R&D goes on, because they are a market leader. They are expected to achieve to deliver a certain level of satisfaction to their end user, a certain level of services to their end user, and that's the reason they have to invest more on marketing as well, and all the divisions. So, but since they are the market leader, they can also perhaps influence authorities and statutory requirements as well. So it all depends how they position themselves after they have come to that position. Now, at the end of the day, all said and done, the business has been set up, your business process has been written as well, and let me remind again, that was a question in our previous quiz as well, that the APMP Book of Knowledge does not say that you have to have the business processes as per the APMP book. It says it gives you an outline. It says these are the major bullet points. Make sure that your business processes, your business development processes is aligned to these because these are the focus areas which you should be thinking about as a team, as an organization, to get yourself from an unknown position to a favored position. Okay, and there was a curve in there. We have saw that. If anyone of you want to refer to that, maybe perhaps you can go back to my LinkedIn page and look at the previous week's broadcast, or on YouTube the same, and Facebook as well as the same. So once you have come to that position, now you need to start to focus on the customer. Now, what does focus on the customer means? Now, this is the customer who has the money and who has the idea, and he is in the need of a solution or a product. Okay, this product can be a tangible one, or it can be an intangible one. An intangible would be more or less like your softwares or software services. Intangible would be more or less like your physical products. For example, computers is one example. For example, and software integration is also another not software integration, my bad. Hardware integration is also another area of for the focus on customer. Let me just see if there is any questions coming through. No, all good. On my chat box on Zoom, we are good. So we will start with our second knowledge area. We have completed already the understand business development. Now we are in the focus on the customer knowledge area. And there you go. You have a lens on to your customer, and your customer is very far away out there. And in this knowledge area, we will be looking at it's a huge one, because there will be many tools and techniques that we will be looking at in this section, and these are very important to make sure that your bid that you're doing, or for that matter if you're doing an unsolicited proposal, we will come to see that it's a very fancy word for a very normal thing that we do unconsciously. We do as a salesman or as a pre-bid a bid professional, business development guy, or perhaps a sales guy as well. So the first thing we will look at is the compliance and responsiveness, customer analysis and competitor intelligence. That's very important. Before even you venture into start doing tenders or the bids, you need to have a clear indication about your competitors, because these are the competitors. It's a healthy thing, actually, if you ask me. If you have a competitor, you will always try to excel yourself and be better than your competitor. Okay, competitor. Customer relationship management systems, okay, CRMs as they call it. Developing a business case. Okay, we have saw that what is a business case in our previous iteration of sessions. Developing opportunity or capture management strategy, developing the solution cost, executive summaries, very important. Okay, features, benefits and discriminators, linking opportunity plans to proposal content, negotiation strategy development, opportunity or capture team selection and management, persuasion, price to win, proof of points, proposal theme statements, strategy and win themes, teaming, unseating the incumbent, very important. You have an incumbent already there, you need to unseat them. First you need to know their positive points and strong points, which you need to incorporate into your business process or your bid, so that you can unseat them. Value propositions and winning as the incumbent. So these are the areas that we will be looking at. There will be no quiz today, because we are just starting our knowledge area. However, if you wish to have one, we can actually pull out the previous quiz, and you can have that quiz for the first knowledge area, as you wish. You can, as far as people on the other medias are concerned, you can simply write into the chat box, in your comments box, or people on Zoom, you can write in there as well if you wish to take the quiz. So, requirement identification, compliance metrics, and unsolicited proposal. Now, these are three terms that I will be keep using for our first knowledge area, and I just want to go at length to discuss them. And of course, when it comes to requirements identification, now when it comes to the bid, a bid has been released. Okay, it's out in the open domain, perhaps published on a newspaper, published on a centralized portal. Maybe the company who is floating out the RFQ, request for quotation, or RFP, request for proposal. They would be before even do that. If the RFP has come out on the tender portal already, you were not involved in the pre-bid stage, wherein before the tender was compiled and all, or we call it specifying stage, there is an information that you might have lost a lot, because you were not able to as a bid professional, you were not able to, or for that matter, your organization was not able to get the insight from the customer about their requirements, what they want. Because at times, if you read through the text of the scope of work, as they say, scope of work of the bid, there might be some hidden clauses which you might not know is in the customer's mind. Okay, there is no standardized definition of certain requirements that they wanted. Okay, perhaps they who is doing these RFPs, who are releasing these RFPs? Most probably it's the procurement team of the customer. And trust me, they don't have time. They don't have time. They are so overwhelmed with providing for internal processes that they don't have time to go out and draft a bid and release that bid, unless it's a filthy rich company who has a separate department to do so. But even then, they will indeed require one of the vendors who can provide them these solutions, and they will closely work with them and roll out a bid. Now, in the bid, you will have certain points wherein certain compliance requirements, qualification requirements that would be more favoring to an XYZ company than to your company. Now, if those are the case, those are the points coming up in your compliance matrix, you have already perhaps to some extent lost the race. Okay, so that's very important part of the bid and proposal. The bid does not start from the day the tender is released. The bid starts from the day the customer thinks about a project or a service that they need. So the requirement identification starts way before the formal bid has come out. Okay, and once you go and speak to the customer, at times they will be already having perhaps a vendor who might be providing them solutions. You try to get what your competitor who is already providing them solution, what do they lack, and bad-mouthing your competitor in front of your customer may not help much, but yes, it might open up some doors for you, but it might not help at the longer run. As we discussed in our first session as well, usually if it's a purchase that somebody wants to do, it's more or less like an emotional decision. That's true for the organization as well. If the whole team feels connected with your proposal, your solution, and your organization, you have a high chance to win the project or the bid. Okay, yeah, of course, those all that information has to be translated into the bid on paper, but you win the project right away if you have inclined yourself to the team. So there you go. Those requirement identification starts way before the bid comes in. The compliance matrix is, if you would ask me, the moment you get the scope of work and the compliance matrix, it's a good practice that you shred the whole compliance into each line item. And I've seen softwares out there who can do this for you, and across the industry. Not only they can do the compliance matrix part for software industry, but for construction, for complex systems as well, and they can shred the whole line by line, every line item. And not only this, if there are an AI enabled softwares as well, wherein it will map that requirement to a knowledge area or a specific domain of industry, so that you can know, so within your organization, if it can map to your domain of in the industry, and of course your departments as well. So the compliance statement, once the compliance specification, I should not be saying compliance matrix, the specification of the project, when it comes to you shred it line by line give it to your department. It's in a very easy way to do it. You just on your Excel file. Usually it looks like an Excel file, that software. I've seen it a lot, and you can go to apmp.org. You can find those softwares out there. By line, it can give you the requirements that you need to qualify, and you can just by one filter, you know what requirements your finance team needs to comply to, what requirements your the bidding team, your pricing team needs to comply to, what requirement your statutory team or the legal team needs to comply to, and your compliance metrics comes along. And of course, without saying, you should have regular internal meetings wherein you discuss this. Maybe stand-up hurdles. You can do those. Standing hurdles is one way of doing it. We used to do. I've been doing that in our certain organizations wherein people they're not allowed to sit in the meeting room. They're asked to stand. Okay, and they pick up. It's like a war room, and they pick up one line item of the compliance. Guys, how are we doing on it? Then all the departments give their opinion to it, and the bid manager says yes or no, because it's this guy who has to formulate a binary answer, yes, no. Okay, there's nothing like a try straight when it comes to compliance statement. And then there is a chance of doing an unsolicited proposal. If I say unsolicited proposal is nothing much. It's your upselling. So now you found an opportunity where you can upsell one of your other products which you are very strong at. You can go ahead and start doing it. But again, this unsolicited proposal, if done before the bid has come out, is going to help you a lot. Otherwise, what you're going to do is during the bid stage, you might be doing an alternative bid, which would not be looked at by the customer, but you would be spending a lot of time to do that alternate bid. Okay, because many organizations try to do that and waste a lot of time in doing their bid, and of course a lot of energy of their bidding team as well. Now there are some best practices. With this going through these best practices, we will be at end of our time, and we'll just read through this for now. Begin to cultivate responsiveness long before RFP release. We will see that in detail next time. What does that mean? Thoroughly review and clearly understand the customer's bid request. Very important. Prepare a comprehensive compliance metrics for every bid request. Submit a response metrics with your proposal, even if that's not a format in your good companies, or no, I should not say good companies. I would say matured company who have been asking RFPs for a very long time. They will usually have a response matrix, and of course they will also ask you for a comprehensive compliance matrix as well. Address non-compliance. Okay, that's very important. It gives the confidence to the customer that this guy who is giving us the solution, he's confident about what he's doing. Maintain a customer focus. That's very important. Of course, keep the customer always in your mind. With this, we are coming up to our closing time. If there are any questions, you may please feel free to type into your comment box. I did not receive any request for the quiz, so I believe we will not do the quiz this time around for the first knowledge area. Okay, so that's pretty much it. And just a technical tip: if you're writing a bid, make sure that you're writing a bid in active voice. Okay, a passive voice does not give a very good impression onto your bid reviewer. Okay. With this, we come to the end of our session today. You're having a very awesome audience. My name is Vishal, signing off for today. See you next week. Goodbye.
Recording.